All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I want to talk about today is jealousy and how there's different levels of jealousy. And I think we use that word a lot of times and we mean it in a harsh way. But I do think there's a lot of fun jealousy to a certain degree, and we don't think about it that way. And I'm pretty comfortable saying, for the most part, I'm not really that jealous of a person. I'm honestly not that bad. I think when I was younger, like a lot of guys, you may be dating or married and someone looks at your girlfriend or your wife and you get mad and, or you feel disrespected. I get it. But as you kind of get older, you understand if you're around beautiful women, men are going to look. Men are going to flirt. You can't control every aspect. Of course, you don't want to get disrespected. I'm not saying that. But you definitely don't want to get in a fist fight with every guy that's looking at your woman or talking to them. But when you're younger, especially I think a lot of men, they're programmed to kind of think that way, which is ridiculous. But, here's the thing, too. A lot of men, too, are jealous, right? They're jealous that they may not have the beautiful woman. They're jealous they don't have the money. They're jealous they may not look a certain way. They may be jealous certain things didn't work out at certain times for them. And it kind of destroys them. And I have been in that situation too, I think, to a certain degree. I'm just open to admit it. Like when I was making films, I'm like, why am I not the one in, Hollywood making A-list films, working with A-list actors or doing big budget films? Why am I not working with like Martin Scorsese or getting awards with, Quentin Tarantino or whatever I was thinking back then? I almost felt like everybody kind of took my spot or everyone's living the life I should have. And I was upset. I felt like a failure. Sometimes I honestly still do at times feel a little bit of that because that kind of drives me, right? But it's a different type, again, of jealousy. And that's what I'm trying to say here as far as jealousy goes. Now, I'm definitely not at the point where I'm jealous of anybody who's really made it. I'm actually excited for them. Because I've sat back and really realized, hey, Martin Scorsese, for instance, or Quentin Tarantino, they made great movies that I loved and enjoyed and still do. Instead of being jealousy and thinking, why am I not them or why am I not doing what they're doing, I've got to figure out my own route. But I still kind of wish, at times, you wish certain things would have worked out maybe differently. But here's the other jealousy now I'm just going to talk about too. And that's kind of the fun jealousy. And I saw a quick on LinkedIn somebody, I can't remember her name, but she was talking about jealousy being kind of a motivator. And I get it. I thought it was really an interesting thing she was talking about. And I kind of related it to food. If you know me, I used to eat out in restaurants. I still do all over the country. And I used to goof around and, whatever I ordered, I'd love. But I'd always see other people's food coming out, right? Or it could be a dessert or a drink. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm jealous. I want that. I'd be like, oh man, I wish I ordered that. The reality was, if I wanted that, I would have ordered it. But after seeing it, especially maybe special sometimes, you're like, oh, should I get that special? No, I'm just going to go with what I always go with. Then you get it and you see some delicious special come out and you're like, oh man. Then I may have regretted it, right? But my point being, I'm like looking at him. I almost want to ask anybody who's, a lot of times, can I try that? Can I try that? At my table, if you eat with me a lot of times, I love giving my food out to people and saying, hey, test this, test this, test this. And I love when other people are like, here, Rich, test this. Because it's almost like if I don't get to test it, I'm a little jealous. That's a different thing, right? But the thing was, I want those things, and I don't want somebody else not to have them, but I do, I guess you could say when it comes to, let me shift this a little bit, with things that I desire, being a little jealous, saying, oh man, I still want to accomplish what I want to accomplish. It's not that I envy what they're doing, but I definitely kind of want to taste or start doing what they're doing. I'm a little jealous. Again, there's a difference between jealousy saying, I wish they didn't have that. I'm mad that I don't have it and all that. You're like, oh man, I wish I could. I can do maybe what they're doing. And I think a lot of us don't want to say that openly, especially maybe in business or people that are, that are more successful. A lot of times I'll even go, my buddies may buy a new car. And I'm the last one who I'm exhausted from car payments. I'm sick of all that shit, but they got a badass car. I'm like, oh man, I'm jealous you got this ride. I'm actually happy jealous for them. I jump in the car with them, we take off, we have a blast. Then I leave and I know myself, I'm like, oh, I don't, it saves me $1,000 a month if I got one. My insurance would be X amount of dollars. I'd probably get a bunch of tickets, driving fast or whatever. I'm just kidding around, but you got to realize a lot of times just being honest with yourself, and that there are, I believe, different components of jealousy. And again, that doesn't, and here I'll wrap it up with this because I don't want to get long-winded on these. I help people with relationships a lot of times, and let's face it, a lot of people are jealous of other people's relationships, especially if they're single or they've had a bad breakup or a divorce or they just can't seem to find somebody out there. You see it a lot. And a lot of times people won't say that to you. They're like, man, you got a great relationship. I'm jealous. I wish I had that. It's more like I'd say most people will keep quiet about it and be miserable that they're not in one. But a lot of times just having some fun, if you have some family members, friends, or whoever that are in relationships, saying, man, can you have an amazing relationship with people. It could be with whoever they're with, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. It could be with friends. Like, man, I'm kind of jealous of that. How do you sustain that? How did you create that? Right? It's, again, I know it's a fine line between, saying being jealous or being somebody that, wants to be coached or learned, but it's, again, just something to express and be fun and maybe use to your advantage, not disadvantage, because I do believe a lot of times, like I was saying, the jealousy flips very quickly. You could have a sibling or, again, friends where they have good relationships and you're like, fuck them. I should be that. And then you're mad almost at them, or you're mad at your lifestyle. Listen, you got to create your own lifestyle. You got to be, alert. You got to be in the moment. You got to be interesting. It is not easy. All right? So again, maybe being a little jealous of certain things at certain times makes things kind of push you to be more interested and succeed, if that makes sense. So I am going to wrap it up there. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to hit me up. I'm at richchalenza.com. I'm also at masteringselfconfidence.com. And listen, don't let things make you crazy. I will wrap it up officially with this. I think, for the most part, no matter who you are in your life, I think we all have been jealous regarding certain things at certain times. I really do. I don't know if it's money. I don't know if it's relationships. I don't know if it's education, if it's work-related and all that. And listen, it happens. Just, try to address it. I really believe it. And a lot of times you'd be shocked that a lot of people may be jealous of who you are. You just don't even realize it. And you might want to also pay attention to like people that are around you that may want the things you want, may want the knowledge you have, may want just help. Try and help them. I'm just saying. All right? All right. Take care, and I wish everyone nothing but the best.